I'm excited to look at the box score for this one.
It's pretty.
I saw some of it during the game, but oh yeah, look at these numbers. Oh yeah.
I've been waiting a decade for that.
That's right. I don't know. We could have shot the 3 ball better. I don't know.
True.
That rebounding line though. Wow.
As good as we played,
Yeah.
you always leave a couple plays on the floor, right?
Oh, that's right.
Sure.
And we're going to need them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Josh Hart with a strained abdominal muscle led the Knicks in rebounding.
Jesus.
The guy is just
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
I got my sweet jerk off. Put some strings on.
That train is off the tracks.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You were listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is May 17th, 2024, and this is episode 710. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana, I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This show, we just got one thing to discuss. Game 6, baby. Joining me this show are all three of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jameson Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Game 7, baby. Shout out to Game 7.
Heck yeah. From Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender, mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles. He's the strong but silent type, John Colson. Looks like he's extra strong and extra silent today. All right, moving on.
Give him a chance.
From Tacoma, Washington, out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? Shouting out the bartender. You're hilarious, buddy. Say it again. One more time. No? All right. Game 7 in New York. I mean, come on, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Come on.
What can you ask for?
If you had told me that this was a possibility when we started this season, I might not have believed you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Look, it made Colson catatonic. It's crazy.
He's been working really hard at his American Sign Language class, and you can't get him out of it.
Maybe
Doesn't
we should take
translate
that
to-
class too. It's like shouting into the void right now.
Well, before we get into the show, I want to remind listeners that they can support us. We are the longest running Pacers podcast by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. And you can support us for as little as $1 per month. All right, team, as you have hopefully figured out or seen already, the Pacers win Game 6 versus the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The game was today, Friday, May 17th, 8:30 tip. So it's a little bit late for us recording. But Pacers win Final score 116 to 103. I think the game was very tight for the first half, for sure. And the Pacers really got a little bit of separation into the third quarter, and they really stretched it out there, 20 points or so towards the end of the game. But the first half was very much, very much in question about anybody who had any sort of advantage. I mean, big story. I mean, a couple items of note from this game. Josh Hart does have an abdominal strain in left. Still played 30 plus minutes, but was off and on, and eventually just took off to the locker room. On the Pacer side, a bunch of guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in double figures. A really great team effort across the board. Leading scorer was Pascal Siakam. I think it was a in my opinion, kind of quiet 25, but there was really good sharing the ball. And then the number one thing for me personally is the rebounding. And I mean, this is not a secret that has been a problem, but Pacers win the rebounding battle 47 to 35, and it seems that every game was won this series by the leading rebounding team, and we won this one too. And so Pacers take the series to 7 games in Madison Square Garden. Tip is 3:30 on Sunday. Jason, what do you take from this game, and what are you looking for on Sunday?
Yeah, well, I mean, first, I just want to say I'm just so proud of this team.
Oh, absolutely.
The way that they came out in this game from the tip, like their level of effort and focus and intensity was amazing. I mean, like you said, it's rebounds, but it was like specifically Miles Turner blocking out Isaiah Hartenstein. He grabs only 7 rebounds this game, which is phenomenal for us. And the way that they battled through a little bit of adversity, right? So Pacers come out, we're playing great, get up a little bit, but then the Knicks punch right back, and they kind of take the lead. And I was afraid I was having flashbacks to that Hawks series a decade ago with the Michael Scott game, when Mike Scott just like went nuts from 3-point range, a la Miles McBride. In this game, I think he had 3 in the first quarter and was just, it looked awesome, actually. But they responded from that, and they really closed the first half super well. Halliburton hit a couple of really good tough shots.
Until the very end of the first half.
Well, sure, yeah. The tech on Nembhard was a little much, but whatever.
I couldn't even tell what happened, to be honest.
I think it was just an accumulation of like kind of ticky-tacky.
That's what it sounded like, but like
physical stuff. But
it was off camera. They didn't really talk. They didn't really tell me what happened.
Right, sure. But anyway, so and then come out of the half, and the other thing that was excellent in the first half was the Pacers just were relentless defensively, and changed up a couple looks for Brunson. In the way that they sort of blitzed the pick and roll and made him change angles, and I think he missed 11 straight shots, which was like the longest stretch in his career.
Yeah. Longest stretch of a lot of guys' career. Most guys don't get to shoot 11 in a row and miss.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. And he came out, very focused, played awesome in the second half. It was maybe the weirdest situation I've ever seen in the NBA, where there were 2 timeouts called by each team, one by each team, so 2 total, within the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. Like, the Knicks came out and scored like
Jalen
6
Brunson
in a row.
goes just straight to the bucket after missing 11 in a row. He just runs through our defense, gets a layup. Yeah, and then McBride did something. Yeah, so they score 6 straight. Mm-hmm. And Carlisle, 38 seconds into the second half, is like, no, that is
Seen
not.
Enough of this.
That is not what we talked about at halftime.
That's right.
I think that just quickly for me, like I think that. I mean, this is something I kept forgetting this was an elimination game. I guess I sort of had it in my head, but also kind of kept forgetting I just kept thinking about, oh, we got to win this so we can go play Game 7. But that the beginning of the second half, the third quarter, particularly the very beginning of it, it's been so important for this this series and playoff games. I mean, basketball in general, but these games in particular, and if we don't have the tone right, things could get away pretty quickly. And so, making sure that we were focused and doing the right things, and not not losing some of the advantages that we had, and losing some of the momentum that we had. We got to get that back, because otherwise, I mean, New York's a talented team, and any NBA team, you let them get away from you, and it's over. And so I think that was a very good use of those timeouts to burn those early, to just make sure we got our head on straight and make sure we're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely. And even coming off their timeout, less than 70 seconds later, we came out and put a punctuation mark on it early. Like that aggression out of their timeout, I was like, oh, we got this thing. Come on, we got this.
Yeah. And I mean, this was the Pascal Siakam I've been wanting to see since games 1 and 2 in the Milwaukee series. Like, he was assertive. He had that, elbow jumper, just looking like butter again. His activity on the defensive glass was just amazing. Obi Toppin getting out and running, getting some dunks.
Keeping that crowd very involved.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And shout out to Isaiah Jackson, who, if we would have discussed at the beginning of the season that Isaiah Jackson would be like a legit playoff guy that you would trust in a Game 6
in an elimination
game,
second rounder,
and you'd throw him out there for 10 minutes, and not only would it be like he would survive, but he would do really
you'd be
good
like,
things.
You'd be like, do we have to, he's got 5 more minutes in him. Come on, coach.
He had that shot late in the game where he was surrounded by four dudes.
Guys, and he powered through them. That was not a finesse move. I love it. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, just top to bottom, everybody contributed. Andrew Nembhard, I thought, had a rough game 5 and came out and was very assertive in the first 5 minutes, and I think really made his mark.
It overcame mistakes early, because he had a couple bad shots early, and he kept after it. The dude has confidence, and that's always good to see. Yeah. Right.
Well, and I think it spread to the other guys too.
Agreed.
Just that type of stuff is contagious, and so that was really good. He did a great job defensively too. After getting
he's a really good defender
eaten for 48 minutes in that Game 5, caused some problems for Brunson, and kudos to him. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. From your team. It's great to show up in front of the home fans and get her done.
Oh, TJ McConnell, buddy.
There were several TJ chants going on.
Mm-hmm. That guy's had an incredible season.
For a dude that wasn't in our starting lineup, it wasn't not in our starting lineup, wasn't in our rotation to start the year.
Yeah, he was getting so much love from the announcers, and I mean, for the reasons we love him. He has really. I mean, it's a playoff, so everything is amplified right now. But he is he's a tenacious defender, and he's doing the stuff that he's been doing all his whole career. But he's getting into the lane. He's making these mid-range jumpers. He's being he's doing those those tricky moves at the basket where you never know where, he does that quick little, you think he's going to kick it out, and he just does a quick little layup, and he's all over the place, and he's been fantastic, and it's been nice to, but I think between him and Nesmith, to kind of switch back and forth defending Brunson. And I think that's another part where Brunson, particularly when McConnell's on the floor, he's got to work the whole way to get
nothing easy
bring the ball
when McConnell's out there.
For sure.
Oh, nothing easy.
He'll even stretch your shit
it's-
talk. Like,
Oh,
Your horse by the end of it. And then last but not least, the guy that I think deserves maybe the game ball for this is Tyrese Halliburton.
yes.
And just the way that he responded by being assertive but not overdoing it. You know, there's a danger when you're the main guy and you've been maligned that you're going to press too much and try to make too much happen. And I thought he like balanced that perfectly. He still got his teammates involved, 9 assists in this game. Was more assertive, taking more shots, but like, you know, only 12. It wasn't like he was like, I got to chuck up everything. He was still very selective. Scored 15 points. And I thought, as he has done in each of the games that we've, you know, won, just been the guy that sets that tempo and gets that pace going. And he was doing that very well today, I thought. And like, you know, even off possessions where, you know, he got juiced and they scored a bucket, like he just came right back. And like, it's that type of relentlessness that is the hallmark of this team when they're successful. And so I think, yeah, for a guy that basically got his name thrown in the mud for, you know, 3 straight days on, you know, every talk radio sports program or whatever, kudos to him.
Yeah.
For sure.
And 100% agree. Like, he set a great tone for our team. It's easy to play to a number. Like, they threw a stat out earlier. Like, if he shoots 15 times, we're 5-1. Like, it's easy to play to a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he passed at least 2 more times than I thought he should have.
Mm-hmm.
But trusted his teammates to hit that 3. And they did 1 out of 2. And he played a really good game. He took 12 shots. Mm-hmm. But he set a great tone, trusted his teammates, and at home, that's a win. Like, that was a great game from him. My game ball, though, does go to Miles Turner. We are now living in a world where we've got, I mean, as good as Miles Turner has played in this postseason, we might have 3 guys who could win us a game in the postseason. Like, Turner had an incredible game. It wasn't like his night. But in big games this postseason, he has played monster. His aggressiveness to the rim makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And he's got a great touch. He's relentless. I mean, that guy's been incredible for us.
I wanted to talk about him too. He had a couple, particularly early, a couple just monster dunks that, you know, were vicious. And that's got to be demoralizing on the New York side. Obviously, it gets our fans into the game. And he's done a couple of those. And he was much more assertive on the boards. I mean, he was our leading rebounder with 8. And that guy, you know, when you see him going for those rebounds, he's obviously like skilled enough to do it. It's just not something that he really focuses on during you know, much of the season. And we've bemoaned his rebound averages over his career, but you know, he's fighting for those in the paint, and I mean, it made a huge difference. You know, keeping those alive, and even some of those where he may not have a clean path to it, but he's tipping stuff out. He's just keeping stuff alive to where we don't lose those possessions, because we had a couple of possessions which were the ones that killed us in the last game, which were an offensive rebound or a tip out on a missed shot that we made a 3 on. You know, we missed a shot or 2 and then ended with a 3. It's the best way you could end a possession, and we had some of those instead of just getting hit. You know, New York, particularly early, had a couple of looks like that, and freaking McBride, I didn't think that guy was going to miss.
Yep.
But
yeah,
he cooled off.
And yeah, I'm just looking at the box score now, like, and so, oftentimes you talk about how that, we're a deep team. We often have guys, 5 or 6 guys scoring in double figures, which we had in this game as well. But my favorite thing looking at this box score is all the guys that played major minutes, which are 9 guys. Everybody had at least 2 rebounds.
Yeah.
And everybody had an assist except for Ben Shepherd. Like, that's just team basketball. That's everybody doing things and contributing while they're out there. It's just phenomenal. Like, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's just crazy.
And Shepard doesn't have the ball in his hands that often, so, I'm not surprised. He's either catch and shoot or give it to somebody else.
Sure, yeah.
I played a pretty good game, did Ben Shepherd. Like,
sure.
Just, it really was an incredible effort across the board. Everybody has told me for a long time that defense travels. Why does our defense live at home? Why can't we kick our defense out the house?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I think, we've been talking throughout these playoffs of how this is, at a minimum, this is a great learning experience for this young team. And I think one of the big takeaways that they're going to take from this
get home field advantage.
Is that A, get home field advantage. B, exactly that. That defense can actually win you games.
Yeah.
And so focusing effort on defending and playing with effort and getting rebounds is winning basketball. And I think that regardless of what happens in Game 7 here, those are the lessons they're going to be taken away. And so in big games and hopefully in crunch time, of regular season games next year, that's the lesson. Because this whole team, Obi Toppin's basically the only free agent. So depending on what happens in the offseason, it's just all growth of these guys.
And by the way, Obi chance in front of the Knicks at Gamebridge, that was good for me. That was real good for me.
That is nice. So, what are you guys thinking for Game 7? I mean, Game 7s notoriously it's throw the playbook out the window. Everybody knows everybody's tendencies at this point. It can be a little rock fighty. That MSG crowd is going to be insane. We should mention the Knicks suffered another injury. Josh Hart seemed to strain an abdominal muscle or something like that. I don't know, weird play, and was in and out of the lineup. Had to go back to the locker room at one point. I'm hoping he recovers well and is himself. But
I hope he is 100% perfect, but decides not to play because it's raining.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. What are you looking for, Harper? What do you see?
There were times tonight they looked defeated. And as great a coach as Tom Thibodeau is, it's always the whip. And when we talked early in this series about just running these guys, it takes a toll game to game. And when you play every other night, the injuries, they stack up. Here we are. And we have a chance. We have a real chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and face Boston. And the only thing that we need to do that is to be more physical than the New York Knicks in 2 days. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an energy and effort thing. Pascal got the post-game comments, and that's basically what he said. He's like, we'll go in there, we're going to play, leave it all out there, and just do all the little things and hustle and run, and we'll live with the result. If shots aren't going in, but hopefully the mentality is you want no regrets after a Game 7.
We have already so overachieved.
Right.
I think it was Halliburton. Reggie kept telling them, you got nothing to lose here, right? And it's more true than it's ever been. We already, what was it, ESPN, 16 analysts, they went 16-0 for the Knicks, and we're in a Game 7 at their house after blowing them out at ours.
Yeah.
We're living on found money already. It's great. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so fun.
Yes, it is. Joey, what do you think?
I mean, it's same stuff. I mean, the thought that I was having during this game was, combining the very obviously historically good offense that we have had this season with semi-competent rebounding and semi-competent defending.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked for many years that having it was a top 5 or top 10 offense and defense is a trait that
you'll be deep
championship
every
teams
year.
have,
Yep.
and we obviously have the offense. Yeah, we have the offense down. That's covered. I mean, it doesn't hit every night, but a lot of times if it doesn't hit, extending those possessions with rebounding and getting, it can't just be buckets. It can be stops and buckets.
Yeah.
And having a plan B is something that this team, like Jason, I think you said, like they're learning how important it is to have that. So, having those things work like they did tonight is going to be the key to this game. It's like I said, it's the winning team has been the team who rebounded the best for every game this series, and I think it's going to be. I mean, it's not the only thing, but it is a leading indicator of who's going to win that game.
It's a leading indicator of effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it'll probably be that again. We could go nuts. They could go nuts from 3-point line. Who knows?
Right. Those things are, come in streaks, and even looks I thought they had today that weren't great. They were canning them. So, and we weren't hitting as much as maybe we do in other games, but we did enough elsewhere to make up for it. So, yeah, I mean, those are the things. I just want to see him hit the boards and run and still be aggressive. I think for Halliburton too, kind of like today, it was like he ended up with 15 points and whatever, 8 or 9 assists.
Mm-hmm.
I just want him to do what the game needs him to do, and sometimes that means take over. But I mean, with everybody else hitting like they were today, if he can just facilitate and pressure when it's there, then do that, And if he's got to take over the game and start taking 35 footers, then I prefer not to get to that point. But those are also the ones you remember forever. So, but let's not start there.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, because you look at this Knicks roster and what they've got left, and you could pencil in Brunson's going to go for 40.
I mean, he had done it
games,
5 out of 8 games. The only dude who's done that in the last forever was Jordan or something. Like, the guy's a monster. It's crazy.
Yeah. He played horribly in the first half tonight. He still ended up with 31. Like, he's nuts. Can Miles McBride do that again? Can he gave him 20 points. Like, DiVincenzo, got his stroke back a little bit, gave him 17. Like, Hart's a question mark. I don't know. Like, as long as we just keep running and forcing the tempo, I think that we've got a really good shot. I mean, if it's a tight game in the last 5 minutes, which, would be super fun to see, it's hard to beat New York in New York, especially with a finisher like Brunson if it's close down the stretch. But hey, like we were saying, like, this team has exceeded expectations, and who knows what else they can do.
Yeah, we always talk about the teams earning. You got to do you got to go through the ropes in the playoffs, and most of those teams that are getting to the playoffs, get bounced in the first year. Hopefully, you can make the next round each year is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a great progression, So, but we skipped over one, which is great, and we've learned a lot, and I think this has done a lot of good for all the players on this team, just career-wise, experience-wise, but then also, I think that one of the things, as Halliburton, this maybe is not a full discussion for today, but just as Halliburton has become a star in the league, and there's been discussion about him attracting other stars, that people want to come play with him. I think this is a fantastic showcase for that, saying, hey, we have Halliburton, we got Siakam, we got Miles Turner, and we're showing the world that we're good. We are good.
And all these guys love playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking if they can go play for the other team.
Nobody's using coded language in post-game press. I am currently a Pacer.
There's nobody saying it's got to be my shot. These are all good things, and all the stuff out of the post game interviews I've been happy with. People are taking responsibility. Jason, what did you post to Carlisle's note?
A reporter asked Carlisle sort of how Tyrese Halliburton could find that sweet spot between demanding the ball and letting his teammates shine or something like that. Carlisle's response was, the sweet spot is if you rebound the fucking basketball.
I think that's the correct answer.
That's my favorite thing that's ever happened. Oh, it's great.
It was pretty solid. Yeah.
Beautiful. No, it's good, and Carlisle, Carlisle's been here before. He knows he knows exactly what they need to do. And the guys are getting it done. There really was the intensity in Game 6 as an elimination game, and hey, guess what? Sunday's an elimination game too. They are going to have to do it.
That's right.
But it's elimination team. It's an elimination for both teams now, and so it's going to be another level from what it was in Game 5, Game 6.
Yep.
It was different circumstances. They're going to have kind of the worst of both worlds, where now the team that they've been kind of annoyed with over the last couple weeks here is going to be in their house and on the big stage, on the bright lights, and their backs against the wall now, too.
Boy, I'm real glad I don't have to officiate that game. Because I'm telling you, as a Pacer fan, we got to win the physicality battle. What do you think Tom Thibodeau's telling his guys?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Saying Josh Hart, push those organs back in there and get out there.
It's fine.
We're gonna find out he's got a steel plate under it. Yeah, it's gonna be intense. Oh boy.
Yeah. All right.
And I got the extra challenge. I got to figure out how to watch this thing in Europe somehow. It's got to be on TV in Europe, right? Somewhere.
I'm pretty sure it's a huge sport in Europe.
You think so?
Yeah. All right, I'll figure it out.
Text Jokic.
They got us it's a 3:30 tip on Sunday, which will be nice for me. It'll be 9:30 at night or whatever. So it's doable.
So sweet, buddy.
Rubio was a Pacer technically for a short period of time, right?
Should I shoot him an email?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just probably ricky.rubio@pacers.com.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio @ontheinternet.com.
Yes. Just text
We'll
Colson.
figure it out straight away. Colson, you got that, right? I got a thumbs up. We're good.
Oh, there we go.
Thanks, Colson. Much appreciated. Yeah, actually, two game sevens on Sunday. Pacers Knicks at 3:30, and then T-Wolves Nuggets at 8:00. That series has been crazy too.
Q.
If anybody wants to watch a masterclass in basketball, go watch the third quarter of Game 5, in which Nikola Jokic put on an absolute masterclass. And he had everything that you could do on a basketball court. He did in the third quarter of that game. It was nuts. He just ate Rudy Gobert's lunch, the defensive player of the year.
Not
lunch.
easy to do that. And somehow he does it in like slow motion too. It freaks me out.
That's crazy.
Can't rush a great.
That one's gonna be good. Did you see the pass where he was like in the lane, and usually he'll like draw a defender and then like lob it up for Aaron Gordon or whatever. This time he like goes up, like fakes the lob to get I think it was Gobert to jump in the air, and then throws the ball like behind his head. Like it was like a split-second decision to Aaron Gordon. I was like, "What is?" He was totally.
His
in the
brain
Matrix.
works
It was
faster
crazy.
than mine. That much is for sure.
And then my other favorite one is he was posting up Gobert, made a couple moves, like spun to the left, and then was like a little bit off the block. So he was like, "All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw it high up off the glass with ridiculous English. It hit like the top corner of the backboard, and then just went straight in the basket." I was like, "Oh my god!"
I was like, why did
This
that
is
ever
crazy.
occur to you as a good idea? And he just canceled.
Yeah, I was just sitting on my couch cackling. It's like, this is amazing.
Also, have you guys heard his post game interviews too? They've been
Oh, I haven't.
pretty solid.
I'm excited
there
for
was
this.
There's been a couple good quotes out of those, but there was one. I think it was Game 5. After Game 5, he had a pretty nice dunk in that game, and I think the reporters were kind of asking him about it, and he said, "I'm a freak of nature."
That's
awesome.
That's hilarious.
No, he's got a good sense of humor too.
All right, we gotta get you to bed, Joey. You got it.
Yep.
Early morning.
Yep. Well, team, appreciate hanging out with you guys tonight. Colson, keep it real.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
man.
Still
sure.
no words. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think he's over there. He struggles with his emotions as the playoffs go on later and later. So, all right, team. We'll be back with you as soon as possible. Definitely after Game 7. Until then, you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at Undebeatables. We are on Facebook.com/The Undebeatables. Our website is theundebeatables.com. There's a contact form there. You can use that to send us a message. Email, shoutout at theundebeatables.com. And hey, we're on YouTube now. If you want to listen to our podcast on YouTube, you can do that too. Just search for us over there. And at the website /store, we got the merch.
And for our once and always Hall of Fame head coach Bobby Slick Leonard and the architect Donnie Walsh, who saw many Game 7s in the Garden against these Knicks in the 90s.
Oh,
Boy, they would be loving this. Turn out the lights. The party's over. Oh boy, Game 7, guys.
Yeah.
Boy,
Just one last shout out to Halliburton. He had 2 blocks in that game as well.
Shout out.
That's what you want from your point guard, right?
that guy's gonna show a little D in Game 7.
Wait, you mean defense, right?
Hey, whatever gets the job done. Just
Mind
see
your
it done,
toes.
baby.
Anything goes. Win at all costs.
Game 7.
Yeah.
Gotta let it all hang out.
Yeah,